Looking for amazing finds and incredible deals? Visit Erie City Mission Thrift today. From stylish clothes and shoes to quality furniture and home goods, you'll discover something new each time while changing lives right here in Erie. It's shopping that feels good and does good. Come see us in Erie and Girard. Erie City Mission Thrift. Thrift with a purpose.
All year round, Frontier Home Products and Design has what you need to make your home comfortable and beautiful. Relax on a new timber tech deck designed by Frontier's experts. A new fireplace from Frontier Home Products Fireplace Gallery adds warmth and serenity to any home. Beauty and versatility at Frontier Home Products and Design Center, 4213 Peachtree, East 5th, next to the Bayfront Highway.
Frontier Home Products and Design Center. Discover a new frontier.
PA contractor number PA039007.
Welcome to TalkErie.com's Joel Natale Show, Erie, Pennsylvania's daily podcast. Every day, we tackle the biggest issues that the Erie, PA region faces. Stay informed and involved as we advance the narrative of Erie. Now, here's Joel Natale.
On the line with us is the Representative Mike Kelly. He's of the 16th Congressional District. Congressman Kelly, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it, sir.
Joel, always a pleasure to be on with you, buddy. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. All right, so let's go ahead and chat about what the latest is going on here when it comes to the Shipbuilding Investment and Workforce Act. This is a legislation that you have introduced with Representative Moran from Texas. So give us kind of the background and all the details.
Yeah, we sure. A couple of years ago, we started opportunity zones, and people thought that was a really good idea. Then we looked at, well, wait a minute, what if we could extend this whole idea and make it even further and take a look at what we have right in our town, an incredible opportunity. The Great Lakes are certainly the Great Lakes. Erie is in a position right now because of who we are and where we are. There is an excellent opportunity when we look at needs, when we talk about needs that the United States of America needs, especially when it comes to defense of itself. We realize that we are only building about 1% of the ships that are being built today. That is, people say, well, that can't be true. Well, here's what's even worse, a part of this. The really bad story is that China is building over 50% of the ships that we need they're being built today. So the question comes, why would the United States of America, the greatest nation in the world, ever be looking at a 1% build rate in China, who we look as one of the aggressor in the world today? While they're not as on the front stage as they are as things are in the Middle East right now, they're on the front stage. Why would the United States ever cede market share? Why would the United States ever walk away from who she's always been, and that is producing products? And so Mr. Moran and I had talked about this, and I think it's a general knowledge. By the way, this isn't Mike Kelly having this great brain sweep. This actually started right in Erie. You know how it all started with A.J.
Right.
Lewis. And we look at all the people that get involved in things, and say, wouldn't it be a great idea if, hey, how about this idea? How about that idea? You know what? Well, here's an idea whose time has come. The opportunities that we have right now, maritime opportunities, being able to use a gift from God to be an economic boost in our community. What a beautiful combination. This is a true win-win. And there's so much going on. But when we look at the local economy, and I keep hearing from time to time, we lost so many jobs over the years. We're no longer what we used to be. Well, how about this? How about if we become what we used to be, maybe not in the same sectors, but what if we do become a producer? What if we become a hub of maritime production? What if this is able to come together? And I'm telling you, it's really working in the right position, because you have a group of people in Erie, Pennsylvania, who are driving it. One of the things, Joe, I want to be really honest about this. I don't want anybody to think that Mr. Moran from Texas and Mr. Kelly from Pennsylvania had this great idea about Erie, Pennsylvania, and that, boy, I'll tell you what, they're standing up there. I do not want to say that, take credit for anything that started locally. This was born locally in Erie, Pennsylvania, this whole idea. The gift from God, being the lake, that this is local talent and a look that, hey, why not us?
Mm-hmm.
Why not us? And so I'm looking at this from a standpoint of a city that's lost some population, lost some job sources. Part of what we used to do was no longer being done anymore, so we've lost those jobs. But this opportunity would bring 1,000 jobs in the shipbuilding industry into Erie, Pennsylvania. It would also bring with it another 2.6 jobs with it, support jobs. So we're looking at a seismic shift in our city, in our schools, in our churches, in everything that we hold near and dear to our hearts. This is an opportunity that benefits everybody across the board.
Okay, let's break this down to nitty gritty, because you're obviously talking about what was proposed as the Gem City shipbuilding project, and also we do have shipbuilding that's going on with Don John, and then we do have folks that manufacture components. I think the county executive said we have close to $900 million in defense contracting already happening in Erie County. Is this an all of the above approach where Don John's included and New Gem City's included, and like people like Erie Forge and folks that are making electronics like Bliley, they're all included on this?
Well, now, again, because of what we're talking about, the building of ships, it's going to include all the above, right? It's going to expand that market opportunity. The fact that we are already positioned, we already have skill sets in our city, in our area, that this is going to marry perfectly with it. I've talked to people who build drive shafts. I've talked to people who do other parts of what is needed in the final production of this product. But it's going to add, again, another 1,000 jobs. And with those 1,000 jobs, the ancillary jobs that come with it, this is a huge lift for our community. So it's in all of the above, because, Joel, first of all, we already do a lot of shipbuilding things right now. We produce a lot of things, but what if we bring in another product now right into our city and saying now we have something homegrown. We're looking at something that's even going to add to the capacity or the need for product that's already being built in Erie, Pennsylvania, and in nearby towns. So everything coming together. And I want people to think this is much bigger. Then you look at what could possibly happen and where it would happen. We're looking at an area in our downtown area in the Bay that is lying dormant right now. It really needs a lot of work done to it. It's it's a hazard. There's things that have to be done. Why not find a way? Why not find a way to make it a win-win-win situation? And I think when we look at it that way, it's not just about the building of ships. It's about rebuilding of a community. It's about rebuilding our stature as a nation, that we can compete with anybody in the world. I was shocked to hear that China builds 52% or 53%. The ships we're building 1% in America, and that's like, well, wait, when did that happen? And the answer is when you weren't looking.
Yeah,
when you decided it was, or somebody else took the market from you. Well, we're going to take the market back, or at least we're going to take a portion of it back.
A key part of even just the title of the act is the Workforce Act. And I want to dig into that here because, and we were chatting about how there is this automatic reflex of saying that we have the workforce here, we just need the opportunity. And I guess I want to make sure that we have the workforce. I think we have the potential for the workforce, Congressman Kelly, but I'm not sure that if we needed to put, a call out for 300 welders, that we could fill that even in 18 to 36 months. You know what I mean? Maybe we'd have a great migration like we did post-war. Have people come from all over the place to come to Erie to build ships. But what do you think about the idea of making sure that we have the trained workforce for the mid-21st century?
Yeah, you know what? That's an excellent point, because I think that as a young person, you're looking at, well, it's okay, so fine, I'm going through my school years, but what am I going to do after I graduate from high school? What am I going to do what am I going to college for? What opportunity exists? That's why when we use the term opportunity zones, that's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. It's an opportunity to build upon what we already have. Now, what will that mean? Do we have the base there that we need? I don't think we have everything that we need right now, but what would be necessary, though, then would have to have people coming from other areas who are looking and say, hey, listen, there's a great opportunity. Something that's a family. You can't. I guess what I'm trying to get to is, the disintegration of the nuclear family usually takes place because of an economy, because of the lack of enough revenue to have a family, to have a home, to have whatever people really need to have to keep that nuclear family together. This is such an opportunity, Joel. This is like the sunrise, not a sunset. I know the sunset when I'm up there in the bay is just absolutely gorgeous, and I think, God, what a beautiful sunset. Well, there's another thing that's important, and that is sunrise. A new day is coming. A new opportunity is coming. A new workforce is coming. New neighborhoods. We have new people coming in our town. It's just one of those things. It's just such a good feeling. Instead of us saying, boy, I remember how it used to be. Geez,
right.
Oh, gosh, it'll be the way it used to be. Well, you know what? It can be. Will it reach the magnitude that it did before? I can't say that what that will mean, but think of what it means, of what we're bringing into Erie, Pennsylvania. Again, as I'm so tired of people telling me, well, you should have seen it when. I say only it could be like that again. If only, and I tell all the if only people, if only we would open our eyes and we would look at the opportunities instead of lamenting what we've lost. Let's really encourage the potential of what could happen with this. This will be a face saving. This will be a shot, an energy shot in the arm of Erie, Pennsylvania, and we'll start to be looking nationally. People will be looking at, wait a minute, Erie, Pennsylvania. They're going to be building, and it's going to require what kind of skill set? That's me. I'm going. Yeah. I'm grabbing the wife. I'm grabbing the kids. We're going to Erie, Pennsylvania, because we're so used to losing the things that we love and that we need and we remember. We should be looking now with great, great enthusiasm over what we could create again and what is. And right now, don't like to talk about anything when it's still in its stages of it hasn't been set up yet. It is on the cusp right now of being a game changer for Erie, Pennsylvania, and the entire surrounding area.
From baggage claim to pajamas in 10 minutes. Erie International Airport. Fly with ERI.com.
Fly Erie International Airport to Charlotte on American Airlines, your nonstop gateway to the world. Also, we have Breeze Airways flying nonstop to Orlando and Tampa, Florida. A great low-cost carrier providing excellent service to the regional community. Fly Erie International for your travel needs.
Fly with ERI.com.
Get paid to drive. Start a new career behind the wheel at the EMTA. If you are looking for a high-paying and rewarding career with full benefits and paid training, stop by or apply online today with the EMTA. Plus, EMTA riders can now enjoy free Wi-Fi on new, clean, and environmentally friendly buses to travel all over Erie County. Visit ridethee.com for more information.
Get on board EMTA. Get on board EMTA.
At Quickfill, what matters most is that our customers, our communities, and our heroes are taken care of. We start by providing American-made gasoline, which means you can buy local, keeping America and your communities strong. We also support vital charities every year and hold Operation Give Thanks each November to help provide a better future for our veterans and their families. We're proud to support the communities we live and work in, and we're doing our best every day to make our towns a better place. Quickfill, driving America.
It seems to me, and I think what I saw at the Defense Summit is that Infinite Erie is a convener of some of the other elements that have to get ready for this potential opportunity. You know, as far as ramping up the training, making sure that supply chains are there, making sure that things that go with economic development, like housing and childcare, all those things that people have to worry about. And then, of course, I think it would be helpful if you could share just the sheer amount of dollars that the federal government is looking at when they're talking about ramping up shipbuilding stateside and trying to compete with the Chinese. I mean, we are talking like hundreds of billions of dollars, aren't we?
We're talking big money. And, for some of us, when you were growing up, there was a show on TV. I remember it was called The Millionaire. And every week, Michael Anthony would go into John Beresford's office, and Mr. Tipton would hand Michael Anthony a check and say, Michael, here is our next millionaire. And I remember growing up saying, gosh, a millionaire? Well, listen, when we're talking about now the investment in Erie and the increase in revenues in Erie, this is an incredible, this is a seismic change. We're talking billions of dollars coming in. When you look at the whole package, everything that needs to take place, Joel, you just hit on it. Where are these people going to live? Where are they have children? Where are they going to go to school?
Yeah.
Where are they going to go to church? What about the clubs that they join? What about all the after school activities that we have? What about the quality of life that it brings with it? So when you put it all together, I don't think that even when we talk billions, that would talk about the total economic change. And it's not just dollars. It's not just dollars. You and I understand that. What it is you are bringing again back into Erie the lifeblood of every great city, and that is the fact it is in a growth period. It's exciting. It's everything that we look at in life and say, you know what, things are really going to be much, much better, and they're going to keep getting better. And the greatest gift of all is not man-made; it's from God. It's been sitting there. It's been in the past. If you were to look in our history, you can't really think about how great the nation is without thinking about where was its birth? Where were the biggest things that took place that made America America? What was it that took place, and at what time did it take place? And you know what? It's hard to look anywhere beyond Erie and what happened in Erie and how we look at that, and we kind of say, yeah, that was all part of our history, but some of that's 200 and some years ago. Say, okay, but I get that, but it's who we are. It's in our DNA, and we still have that. That's coursing through our veins right now, and the idea that it's sitting there right now, it's going to be competitive, it's going to be aggressive. And we want to be the ones that are first ones there, the first ones to grab the prize, to seize that prize and say, look what's happening now with this. With that win becomes a win across the board for everything, all our neighborhoods. I mean, our schools, everything that we look at that makes life great. Again, it's another building block. Sometimes, like when I see all the factories that were closed down or the vacant lots where there was a factory on and now it's empty, I look at it and say, oh, boy, I'll tell you what a time to be alive, to be in a position that you could help rebuild a new Erie, an Erie that would rival the old Erie, and an Erie that everybody else in Pennsylvania, instead of being that third big city in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Now, shift your eyes towards the north. Look up in that left-hand corner and look at Erie, Pennsylvania. Look at the lake. Look at our bay. Look at everything. These are gifts from God that men and women will be able to look at and say, you know what? We are going to make the best use of the gift that we have been given.
We've got Congressman Mike Kelly on the line with us here. What are next steps? Has this bill been put to committee, or is it in write-up right now? Share the process, if you would.
Well, and again, that's really a good point, because people say, okay, does that mean we can look at this next week? Well, the product that we put together, of course, goes through a whole situation. It'll be before the Congress people will look at it. They'll say, yes, it's the opportunity zone, but going back to it's a maritime opportunity. All we're doing is taking opportunity zones that were already here, right, and in place, and have been very successful, and we're saying, let's add another dimension to it. Let's add a maritime opportunity zone. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, all that legislation, all of that work that was done before, it becomes just a different variation of the same legislation. So it's not like we're starting with a blank piece of paper. We already have opportunity zones that have been successful. We're expanding on opportunity zones now. We're looking more into the rural areas that we think have not been looked at enough as to where there's opportunities, and we could recreate it. And now we're going to bring another aspect in of industry and say, let's take a look at the whole picture of opportunity. That's not just limited to a certain view. Let's take a wide view of it, of what could be there. So when we're talking about this stuff, this is just kind of taking a look at things that are already structured, they're in place, and adding to that, knowing that this is a model that people understand. Legislators have already worked with, legislators have already voted for, and we're seeing it in real action. And now we're saying, you know what? As good as that was, and it was great, we're going to add to it, and we're going to take advantage of forward-thinking legislation. And again, people don't like to use these catchphrases, but if we're going to make America great again, we better start making things in America again. And that's what we're looking at with this maritime opportunity. We are going to start making America a shipbuilding capital of the world. But more than anything else, this solidifies our defensive position from a national defense. We have got to be able to produce our own equipment. I don't want to rely on anybody. If we didn't learn anything from the pandemic, the face coverings, right, where were they coming from? Well, China. Why couldn't we get them? Well, exactly what I just told you. They were coming from China. I don't want to be relying on China to build anything for the United States of America. We know their game plan. We know their long-range plan is to completely eliminate the United States. We won't be whom we always were. We'll be a provider of great expectations for other parts of the world. We're going to try to recapture, and we can do it through great legislation. But more than anything else, a nation that's always looked to the future, a nation that's always said there's nothing impossible in America, and we're gonna get that done. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the strength, the movement is so strong right now. I just think we're gonna see success upon success upon success, and we'll sit back years from now and say, by the way, when did this happen? When was this rebirth? And it'll say, well, it actually happened back in 2026. Now I don't want to be I don't want to be foolish about this and say we're going to see this in 6 months or a year. Right. We're going to start, and once it starts, it'll have its own energy, and it will keep moving, because it is such a positive move first of all, for the United States, for our nation, but secondly, for the protection of our nation, the defense of our nation, and it's going to start in our hometown. It's going to be something that we can look at forever and say, I remember when we used to do things like that. You know what? We're doing them again. We're doing them again.
And again, I'll put an editorial comment. The idea that having federal help on a burdened piece of land, that possibly like the Erie Coke thing is really a wonderful outcome as well. We've got to leave it there. Congressman Mike Kelly, I appreciate you bringing this to our attention and pushing this ball forward again. We could use all the football metaphors because they really apply here. You know, we could see the touchdown in our sights. We just got to continue to get the first downs as we make our way. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Well, you're right, Joe. We look at the game films and we know where it is that we're weak on defense. We're gonna shore it up.
Appreciate it very much. Again, Congressman Mike Kelly here on the Joel Natale Show.
You've been listening to the Joel Natale Show, Erie, Pennsylvania's daily podcast from TalkErie.com. Subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher and get involved by emailing joel@TalkErie.com.